Hello and welcome to my knitting channel. This is part 5, the final part of the zipper sweater by PetiteKnit, where we will be putting the zipper in and finishing this whole sweater off. So first you're going to be knitting the facing, which is this inside bit that holds the zipper in, and you will sew it down as well. Once you've done that, then you will pin and sew down the zipper so that it stays in place, so that you can do this all day long. So before we begin, you need to grab your yarn, your needles, your sewing needles as well, and of course your drink of choice. So let's begin. For the facing, you're going to need smaller needles as instructed in the pattern, and a spare needle to rest stitches on, and of course scissors. You're going to be starting on the left side, and the left side is when you're wearing the jumper, it would be on your left. So that can be a little bit confusing once you start turning the sweater inside out, so I thought I'd show you here. Put the needle in. Turn it inside out, and as you can see here, it ends up on the right side. But when I say left, that's what I mean. Now you want your needle to be facing away from the gap in the sweater. Then you're going to be knitting it flat all the way down, so that the knitting is facing you. Grab your new yarn. We're going to begin with a knitting round. Then twist it over and you purl. So this is what we call stockinette stitch. Turn it over again, but don't twist it. Make sure it goes back to being flat, because you'll end up in trouble later. Keep working your way down until you've got the correct length, and then I'll see you again in a bit. Now that you've done that, you are going to want to put these stitches on a resting needle, or sew in some scrap yarn to rest the stitches on. Now you can start your right side, which looks like it's on the left. Again, the needle facing away from the gap. And in this one, we're actually starting on a purling row so that it ends up correct at the bottom. So continue working this in the stockinette stitch, as in flat, so that you can only see the knitting stitches, until you are at the right length. So this is where things get quite complicated. At least I had to do this a couple of times. So twist that one over. Twist the other one over. And then crisscross. Then you will purl it together, so you are joining it together into one. And that's where you gain that extra length that you were missing before. And now knit. And keep going, working the middle facing until it is the right length. Now that you've got the right length, you can do a regular bind off where you flip the first stitch over the new stitch on your right needle. Once you have finished casting off your ends, you will need to weave in all of the ends in that vicinity. I know it sucks, it's a lot, but you can do it. It's absolutely necessary. You've got this one, this one, this one. So good luck. Before you start sewing it down, you need to just make sure it's flat and that you know how many stitches you've got, because that's where you're going to be sewing it together at the same amount of stitches underneath. So here we go. Find that smiley, go into a stitch, and make sure you leave a bit of yarn, a bit of tail that you'll have to weave in later on again. And then go into the next smiley below or above. And into the stitch. So keep going until you reach the very bottom, and don't go across, but start again on the other side and go all the way to the bottom. Then you can do it across. That way it will stay really even, especially at the bottom. Here you can see what it looks like. So I've gone down this side, not there, and then down that side and then across. And you can see I've also already weaved in those ends. So that's what it looks like right now. For the zipper, you're going to need some pins, some needle and thread. This is a denim one that I've thought matched really well, and some scissors, of course. I'm just going to prepare the thread for later on, and you actually want two ends going into the needle so that you have this loop at the end, which you can see right here. So now we're going to pin the zipper in, so you need to fold those ends of the zipper and place them in. And don't worry about pinning the back of the jumper into it. Just think about the front. That's what helped me anyway, keep it a bit more stable. And then just get it as close to the zipper teeth as you can. And pin down until you can't pin anymore. Here you can see that I've pinned the front, but not the back. So now I will do the back as well. And I found it quite helpful to pin it the opposite way so that the ball end is on the bottom rather than at the top. So here we are, we've done that side. And I'm just checking that the zipper is working. Now that felt a little bit stiff to me at the time, but actually in the end it is perfectly fine. So if that happens to you, I wouldn't worry too much about it. So now we do exactly the same thing on the other side. Do the top first and then the other side after. Just a quick note before you do the other side, this is a good time to check that this is completely even and that it's lining up together. Again, you can just play around with the zipper a little bit, why not? And then do the back. Now it's time to start sewing in the zipper. Yay! Make sure you've got that loop over there, and we are going in from the back. Pull it through, but leave a little bit at the end. Then about 1 millimeter below, go in from the front to the back. Now I struggled a bit there, so I had to get a thimble because the zipper is folded there. And the needle's free, yay! Now go through that loop that you left. Make sure it's not twisted or anything, keep it nice and open. And pull through. So now you have tied your end to the work. Now you're going to go to the stitch below and through. Try to go into in the hole of the stitch in the front. So you have to kind of match that. Then 1 millimeter below in the same stitch and out. And then on the back, that is where you change stitches and you go down. That way, all the sewing is invisible on the outside at least. And on the inside, you see it a little bit, but if you've picked the right colour for your work, it won't be a problem. Now I've reached down quite far and I'm just going to make a knot on the end and snip it. Now we're going to do the other side. Once you've done that, it should look nice and neat like this. And just check that the zipper doesn't get caught in anything. Do test it. And now we're on to the bottom. So you're going to fold the bottom of the zipper over, put it in that pouch, just so you can see where you want the zipper to end. So you're just going to hold that. So maybe find a tooth in the zipper and hold it as you pull it out. Don't lose your place. And this is where we're going to sew in over the zipper, and it will act as a stopper. A millimeter down, just to make that knot, just like before. And go back up. I could have actually gone across, but for some reason I didn't. And here's where I went across. And then I just go in circles like that until I think I've got enough. So here's the really fun bit. You're going to cut the zipper. I thought it was so fun. I've just got regular old kitchen scissors that I don't care too much about, and I'm giving it about 2 centimeters below or so. And now you can just put it in. And now, again, testing my zipper. I love it. And now you can start sewing in the rest, and make sure you sew in across as well. And that's it. The zipper sweater is finished if you've done all your weaving. But I was really happy with that actually, and it turned out much better than I thought it would. So I hope it has for you as well. Make sure you celebrate. This is a joyous occasion. And that's it from me. I hope this series has been helpful and that you have a lovely new favourite sweater. If you want to see more tutorials, do hit like and subscribe, unless of course you hate cozy jumpers like this zipper sweater. Thank you!